coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Sponsored by First Medical Equipment, the Lionheart IndyCar Series comes to Pocono. Last week at Phoenix, it was Dustin Wardlow working the pit strategy and the fuel to perfection, running out of the magic elixir as he crossed the line for his first win of 2019, making the Candyman the fourth different winner in as many races, Dandy Dan Guerin, Scotty Johnson, and Sage Karam being the other three. Karam took second place last time to the delight of his girlfriend, Abby, who confidently turned in early. Adam Blocker, Andrew Kinsella, and Chris Stouffer rounded out the top five. With the real-world Kentucky Derby just weeks away, what better time for a Triple Crown event in this series? So without further ado, it's time for the Iracing Iflag Pocono 300 presented by Fat Dog Racing. Round 5 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Season 7 Championship. And you can see all the virtual IR18 racing action from Green Flag to Victory Donuts live as it happens right here on the Global SimRacing Channel via the iRacing Esports Network. From Pocono, hello and welcome to the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the iRacing Iflag Pocono 300 presented by Fat Dog Racing that will immediately follow as we indeed count down to green. And here to do all of that is yours truly, Bill Soupzon, way up in the press box, joined by former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn to give you our words eye view. I'm Jed Yaman, has director duties armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beer. All right, Richie, I like that too. Does fewer corners mean the drivers have less to worry about?
Haha, thanks, Soup. Absolutely not. And welcome to Pocono, located in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Beautiful area, part of the country. This track is called the Tricky Triangle for a reason. As you can see on our map, it's 3 distinct corners instead of your traditional oval. Turn 1 is a high-speed, high-banked oval, kind of mirrored after Michigan's Turn 1 and 2. Go down that long backstretch into the kink. It's called the tunnel turn because obviously there's a tunnel underneath it. And then we head into Turn 3. It was a long, flat turn and leads onto that very long front stretch, very wide. And what Turn 4 is they put on there? There's only 3 turns here. But probably the best way for you viewers to see what this place is like is to jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Brian Yasek, taking you for a spin around the new Pocono Raceway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. So, without further ado, here we go. Down the front stretch, sailing off here into Turn 1, getting up in a solo run at about 220 miles an hour. Take kind of a late entry in there to try to straighten out the exit, get it right down here towards that line, bring it straight out off the wall and down the long pond straightaway. As you can see, there's no grass, so there's a lot more room for things to get really crazy down here into Turn 2. Turn 2, pretty much a lot of the same as Turn 1. Take that real late entry, try to drive that corner as straight as possible, and then back out onto the straight. Down here into Turn 3, you're going to take another late approach, get the car woed down here to the bottom, try to hug that yellow line, drive it straight off of the corner and back down the front stretch. You could see guys all over this track as the run progresses. It just depends on where the grip is. With this car making its grip from the bottom, I mean, you could see guys up here in this second, third seam, but you could see them right back down to the bottom, straightening out that corner, down the long pond straightaway one more time, getting your approach set up into Turn 2. Once again, real late entry, swinging it in, straightening out that corner as much as possible, down into this little short chute, setting up Turn 3 one more time. Find the yellow line here, turn it straight in, never lift, straight out of the corner, down the front stretch one more time, and across the line. And that is going to complete our guide here around the new Pocono Raceway. I'm Brian Yasek. Enjoy the show.
And there we have a lap around Pocono International Raceway. As you can see, it's a 2.5-mile racetrack, very wide, very racy. So we expect some good racing tonight. The countdown to green is brought to you by Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer, and it also makes for an effective training tool for the real-world drivers. For more information on the Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 Seat Stage Series motion systems and the Sim5 software, visit simexperience.com. And please use the promo code SIMXLION to get 5% off the next Sim5 software you order.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at the driver standings now, and this is presented by First Medical Equipment. With the understanding that the viewers can read, we'll put those up. Instead of going over each driver and where they stand and how many points back, let's just talk about some of the surprises we see on there. A couple rookies sitting 5th and 6th. Sage Karam and Carey down there in that 6th position. You got to figure those guys are going to be good. How about Samuel Ryman, though, having a great season in 7th position? That's a bit of a surprise. Maybe if you look over at 11th position a bit farther down, Michael Goodman, you figure even though he was up 8 positions, he's getting a late start on this season. And then, of course, Dustin Weaver down there in 16th. You got to figure he's going to be making a move here pretty soon. All right, let's go ahead and look at the team championship here, and really no big surprise anywhere. Adrenaline Motorsports, the red team. Blocker, Carey, and Kinsella, man, those guys are going to be tough to catch. It really might turn into a battle for the best of the rest. Synergy sits in second. Those top 2 teams hold station. The other Adrenaline team, and again, I protest teams differentiating themselves by colors. They could be more creative. I'm going to say Licorice on this one. They sit in 3rd. Synergy down there in 4th. Big mover, NLR Sim Racing. That was Dupree, Graff, and West up 7 spots. We'll get more about those teams as the season goes on, get to know where the drivers are and how that plays out. We're still early days yet. Let's go ahead and look at the rookie standings. Richie?
Yeah, the rookie standings are brought to you by Butt Kicker. And no surprise, we got Sage Karam moving up 1 spot to take that first position. Right behind him is Carey moving down 1 spot. Very close on that, only 4 points behind. We got some good movers here. Martinez up 5 spots into the position. Salmon struggling a little bit, down 3 spots into the 8th. Long ways to go, but we got a great crop of rookies here, and it'll be interesting to watch this as we go.
Rich and I both suffering from the same ailment there, as the overlay did not have first names on there. It's Brian Carey is the guy we want to watch, the new rookie that we all need to know. He has been very impressive. You know, also impressive is this series, considered to be the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service. The Lionheart IndyCar Series, as always, honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. It just doesn't seem right to follow that segment with this next one, but here we go. And now back, by demand of varying degrees. Wait a minute, I got more to tell you here, Professor. Wait, Professor. From the setup corner, it's Professor Lugnut, who seems to be a little warm. He's dripping a bit. He's trying to stay cool. What do you got, Professor?
Dieter, get the box off my head. We don't need it.
Oh, Sue, hey, okay, so they used to have an air box over the driver's head on these Indy cars.
I understand.
They got rid of that, okay? And so it did serve an important purpose, though. That's how they got air to the motor, okay? Now, guess what these Indy cars have? They have the same thing your regular car that you drive every day has. They have radiators in them. Where are those radiators located? Well, they're actually located in those big side pods on the side of the car now. That's where all the air gets thrown into the car as it scrambles down the speedway. And those radiators do the same thing your regular car does. It keeps the engine cool. You know what happens if you don't keep the engine cool, Soup?
It overheats.
Well, it could do that. It can also really melt critical parts for the motor. All right, where you get your speed. Now, those radiators will keep the motor cool, but how much air that comes in, that's actually kind of important, because you let too much air in, and guess what? It slows the car down. It causes what they call drag, aero drag. You've seen things in the wind tunnel, how they slow down, speed up. Anyway, you don't want all that drag, especially on a fast, wide open track like Pocono. Well, guess what? You have 5 different settings or 5 different sizes you can choose from on these cars, and iRacing has 5 of them available. There's a 38% closed, 54% closed, 70% closed, 77% closed. Anyway, each of those settings retain the same amount of air flow to the engine's intake, but controls the amount of air that is supplied to the radiator, which cools the engine. Now, the last 2 settings that we talked about, 70 and 77%, they only use that in qualifying, while those other 3 are for race trim and race trim only. Now, listen, that's going to be key here tonight, because like I said, this is a bad, fast, wide open track, and how you chose to set that drag, or at least how much drag you want to have or how little you want to have, is going to be really, really important with those openings in the side pods.
I got it. And I think we should point out that the setup meisters do the setup, so the drivers don't get to play around with that, because as Rich is going to tell you right now in a second when we go over the series details, the number 4 on his little graphic that he's going to show you, he's going to talk about how setups work. Go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, and these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit www.273.biz. Use promo code LHRS for 25% all orders. And here we are, the series details. We're in Season 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, Round 5 of 24. As you can see, we got 3 driver drops. We're using the Dallara IR18. And as they mentioned, the setups are adjusted and fixed, meaning they can't play around with that stuff. So everybody's going to play with the same tools, and it's all about driving the car to the best of their abilities. But we're also working on cash and prizes, totally $9,652.
My goodness, that's quite a little haul there, and they spread it around. Everybody gets a chance at some cash. Let's go ahead and look at the weather. It's a beautiful Pennsylvania day here. Cloud spotted skies, 69 degrees. Richie, I got to think 105. It's going to be kind of warm. Is that going to matter much on this oval?
Yeah, it's going to take a toll on those tires there, Soup. It's pretty hot. But like we said, everybody's working the same tools. So not sure right now, but we might see somebody's just kind of taking care of those tires. So we have some at the end. I'll tell you that turn 3 is really tricky in the sense that it's very flat. So you got to take care of those front tires. And if you can't, you're not going to be able to get that run off that final corner to make those passes that you want.
Pocono always puts on an exciting show. Sometimes it's a clean show, sometimes it's a messy show, but it's always worth watching. Glad you're here with us on the Global SimRacing Channel, streaming your way on the iRacing Esports Network. And you know, the best of the best on the iRacing platform, and private leagues like this one are featured right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss a thing that those guys are bringing you. GSRC is proud to be part of the iRacing stable of broadcasters.
Working on qualifying right now. It's just about over. Got a kind of a new guy up there, not new, but new on the front end there. Mike Rigney and Tony Showen sitting on the front row. Although I don't think qualifying is going to be that important as we get to this race, but that's somebody, some new guys up there to talk about.
40 names on the entry list. 33 were able to put in qualifying times. Drivers in the back that didn't: Flanagan, Jenkins, Cohn, Ryman, Cole, Hill, and Dupree. We wish them the best of luck as we go to the starting grid here in your Lionheart IndyCar Series. On the front row, Richie, I'll take this one. It is Mike Rigney. Boy, look at that rookie up there sitting on the pole position, flanked by a veteran, Tony Showen. Richie?
Yeah, row 2 will be Ron Hacker and Damon Martinez.
James Brandt sits in the 5th position. He's going to be inside of Adam Blocker.
Row position 7 will be Connor Harrington and Chris Stouffer.
Little home cooking for the Pennsylvania driver, Stefan Larkamp in 9th. He's going to be inside of Brian Yasek.
Starting in 11th will be Brian Beard, and right next to him will be Dan Guerin.
Bakers does the spot. It's Joe Branch. Next to him, Justin Kirby.
Starting 15th would be Big Joe Hassert, and 16th will be Michael Goodman.
Row 9 is populated by Brandon Limkeman and Chris Sleepy Lanini.
Starting 19th will be Bob Mikas and Andrew Kinsella in the 20th spot.
Hidden Blackjack, it's the boy from Bakersfield, Jason Galvin. In the double duck spot, Ryan Cohn.
23rd will be Justin Weaver and Brian Carey, who we talked about earlier.
Fan favorite Tyler Graff in the quarter century mark inside of earlier race winner this season, Scotty Johnson.
Brian Greenlee starts 27th, and next to him will be Robert Bluen.
The Candyman back in 29th, Sage Karam next to him in 30th. What's going on in that row?
Yeah, that's very surprising there. 31st will be George Anzaldo, and 32nd will be Scott Bolster.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's former number was 33. Paying tribute to him, Bart Workman races in that position. Joe Flanagan didn't put in a time. He sits in 34th.
Yeah, we got a few people who didn't put in a time here, so they're electing to start in the back, but Paul Jenkins started 35th and Mark Cohen in 36th.
Samuel Ryman sits in 37th position. The man who's going to mention my name on one of his internet shows, Sean Cole, the Sim Pit guy, in 38th.
And on the last row there, starting 39th, is John Hill, and right behind him is Isaiah Dupree.
That was the Dupree in the very back. And they begin to roll. It's a long way around this racetrack. Plenty of time for us to show you our onboard cameras. First up is going to be Paul Jenkins in the minus 273. Been driving all night, hands wet on the wheel. The lead singer of Golden Earring could use a pair of Radar Love racing gloves. Check him out at minus273.biz. Wrote that plug myself. Big Joe Hassert in the butt kicker onboard camera machine. Bring more realism and immersion to your sessions. Get haptically immersed. Thebuttkicker.com. Mike Rigney in the Iracing Iflag onboard camera, simulation signal boxes that you can use when you are racing in the world's best race car sim called iRacing. IracingIflag.com. And Brian Not Easy being Greenlee in another minus 273 car. Durable, breathable, lightweight racing gloves. Check him out, minus273.biz.
I want to say I got some of those gloves there, and honestly, they are amazing. I don't know how I went this long without them, and I encourage everybody to pick up a pair of those.
Time to go racing. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart.
Come down that wide front stretch. Yeah, everybody's kind of spreading out, but I expect it to be pretty clean here the first couple of laps. It's very wide. We've got a long race to go here, so I don't expect too much drama at the beginning. Tires are good, and it's going to be a complete draft fest, so I don't think positioning is going to be that important as we got to pass for the lead.
Tony Shawan says we all have one rookie leading all the laps. No room for Mike Rigney to lead any laps here as Shawan goes ahead, takes that lead. Hacker behind Rigney. Connor Harrington and Adam Blocker, your top 5.
Yeah, I saw Mike Rigney kind of come right up behind Tony Shawan, kind of lift, so he's looking to just kind of take it easy. Just no reason to push the issue. Got a long race to go here. Everybody's spreading out, giving everybody each some room.
Ron Hacker holds off an assault by Connor Harrington. Harrington trying to live down that reputation of fast but crashing a lot. He sits back in 4th. Another rookie that we got to pay attention to in 5th, Damon Martinez.
Do have some action back here in about 12th spot as Dan Guerin is getting challenged by Big Joe and starting to kind of set themselves up too wide going down that front straightaway. And then you got Andrew Kinsella also back there. Interesting to see that Sage Karam didn't qualify very well. I know he was at Indianapolis today for the real world test at Indianapolis, and he's not on his normal rig. So yeah, he's probably taking a little bit to get used to that.
There's Sage. Our spotlighted driver right now races in 10th position, Stephen Larkamp. Keep an eye on him, see if he can avoid the spotlighted driver curse that so often befalls members of this series. I think we're going to be all right today.
Starting to get pretty racy back here for 11th, 10th, 12th area. I'm watching Brian Yazik at the moment. And these guys are starting to go 2 and 3 wide. You can see Andrew Kinsella up on the high side trying to make that work. And, Brian's getting past a few spots, but they're starting to get a little racy back there for that top 10 position.
We look back, see that blue car on the top side? That's Yazik. Brian Yazik trying to find some momentum. He's got Joe Branch with him right now. Yazik dropped about 3 spots, lost all of his momentum.
Andrew Kinsella tucking up. Go ahead.
Well, if the drivers will cooperate, we'll go ahead and show you our race analysis. How far are we going? How far can we go? Well, we're going 120 laps. The max fuel run is 30. You do the math. Looks like a very tight window.
Yeah, very tight.
Pitted 30, pitted 60, pitted 90.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's why you've seen some of these guys just kind of hang back in the draft. We got Andrew Kinsella going around Big Joe Hassard into turn 1. But I think you're seeing some of these leaders here just kind of tucking behind each other and maybe just save if you can save 1 lap or 2 laps, it might make a big difference as we get near the end.
They start to single file. We talked about the drivers up front, Shawan, Rigney, Harrington, Martinez, Adam Blocker in there now. Let's go ahead and run the back half of your top 10 if we could. Start with Ron Hacker in 6th. James Brandt right behind him in 7th. Chris Stouffer started in 8th, racing right there. Up a couple spots in 9th is Brian Beard. And then Dandy Dan Guerin. You got to figure he's going to be coming. Might just be saving his stuff. Again, we don't know how fast these guys can race. To be honest with you, the stint that was given was 29 to 30, so maybe these guys have to save a little bit. Oh, can we get a replay? Adam Blocker and Damon Martinez almost got together in fourth. I thought it was going to be in the wall. Blocker down low, Martinez up high. This one was scary. They'll get it down into one. Good. There goes Blocker underneath. Do they make contact? I thought they did. Let's see. Woohoo, maybe. We'll ride on board with Martinez. See how hard he had to work. This will give you a good view. There comes Blocker. Oh, felt like contact. Oh, we get away with one. Spin the chamber, pull the trigger, and it goes click.
I was watching a little bit in the back here. I think Mark Cohn is having some internet connection problems. He's dropped all the way back to almost 39th position. He's in 40th, so I don't see him. He's not coming up on my screen. So, but what's really interesting is Sage Karam. No way he's this slow or this. He's just being conservative, running in that 29th position. So I think fuel mileage is a real concern for some of these guys.
And again, he's racing, we believe, on a strange system, not his own. He's, I don't know, racing could be on some amazing system.
I actually, I just saw on Twitter. On Twitter, he posted he was going to go over to Gabby Chavez, is one of the other IndyCar drivers he runs with, over to his system. So it's kind of foreign to him, but pretty easy track.
Uh-oh, yellow flag. James Brandt.
Oh,
and he gets stuck in the Velcro fence. This is a long time coming.
Yeah, just gets up wide there, coming out of the corner, and just gets up in the wall. And then, like you said, sometimes that fence just grabs you and you're stuck.
He gets it once, he gets it twice, and the third time the car goes up into the catch fence. Boink. One more time, boink. And then one more, boink.
The wheel. You can see him turning the wheel there, and the car's just all out of shape. So that's unfortunate. That'll be the end of his race early on, but I'm sure this yellow flag is going to help a lot of these guys save a little bit of fuel, and maybe we can get a little bit racier.
Look how calm the race fans were there as he was going up. You think they'd have some type of reaction, but man, they are some veteran fans. They are stoic.
Oh, they've seen everything there, Soup. They're not fazed by any wreck.
All right. So what does this mean? Do we go pit stops here?
No, honestly, I would think that's pretty early on. I think if you just kind of coast around and save a couple laps of fuel, I mean, if you're in the back, you're going to pit, but if you're in the top 10, 15, I wouldn't see anybody pitting, but I've been proven wrong many times.
Well, James Brandt is out. Mark Cohen, the watchman. Right now, he's probably watching the show because he's not here. Internet connection got him.
And, of course, I've been proven wrong once again as everybody comes down pit lane. So forget what I just said.
Well, it's a possibility that 30-lap stint maybe was a lot to work on. Well, there's a few fakers here.
I think once the leader pulls down, everybody's going to follow the leader. There are some guys staying out, so they're going to play the chess game, but most of the pack is coming in to take some fuel and tires.
It'll be interesting to see. Michael Goodman stays out. Tyler Graff stays out. Joe Branch. Ryan Corns. Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. Now, again, we're not sure if these guys are going to remain out. I don't see why not. Let's see how good the car is on how many lap old tires here. What, 10 lap old tires? Can't be that bad.
I don't think tires are the concern. It's more or less just fuel mileage. Those guys are just trying to track position. I did notice Mike Rigney, who came in second, didn't have the greatest pit stop. He's going to leave in about 5th or 6th as far as the cars that pitted.
Well, this yellow flag should help these guys who stay out, Goodman and Graf, get to that magic 30 lap mark. So keep this into a 3-stopper. Pit at 30,
Yeah.
60, and 90.
I mean, they're just hoping for a yellow flag so that they don't have to pit under green. So it opens their window up a little bit, and sometimes that's what you have to do when you're in the back a little bit, and you got to take those chances to get that track position.
Now, I don't know for sure because I haven't done the bogey time for me, but my gut tells me that Goodman, if he's out in front, would be able to come and make a stop and still not lose a lap. I could be wrong. What do you think, Rich?
No, there's no way.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're running 42-second
Yeah, I
lap
guess so.
times, whatever. By the time you come, it's a long pit road and taking fuel and tires. You're gonna, may not lose a lap, but you're gonna get swallowed up getting up to speed. So it's no different than Indianapolis. I mean, it's tough to pit under green and stay on the lap. And you know what? If they get a yellow flag in another 10, 15 laps, everybody will probably pit again, and they'll make those spots up.
Well, that's why you came to watch. Lights are off the pace car. A long way around here, so let's see if I can squeeze in one of our sponsor plugs before we have to go green. Let's go ahead and start with one of our onboard cameras. Let's talk about this new sponsor, Iracing Iflag. What do they do and who are they? Now, when you're behind the wheel in iRacing, your eyes are looking down the racetrack or maybe even in the rearview mirrors. You might not notice or even hear the caution comes out, or when your car is damaged, or if you get a black flag, or even notice that there's a car beside you. So yes, Iracing Iflag simulation signal boxes will point, if there's a car next to you on the side, they'll show you all the flags, and they'll do it in these bright colors that even rod and cone challenge drivers like myself cannot miss. And it just makes iRacing more real and can help you become a better driver. Check it out at IracingIflag.com. Some cool stuff, let me tell you.
So it looks like we have six cars that did not pit. So the first car that did pit is Tony Schoen, who was our original leader, and we're coming to the green flag.
Here we go. Coming around. Let's go racing one more time. Gather up the chicken steak, cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn, and this time it's Michael Goodman leading the stampede of drivers down into the first corner. There are a few of them that did not make the pit stop. I guess there would be, if I look it out there are 7 of them that stayed out on track.
Yeah, Tony Schoen's our first car. Oh no. Yeah, cautions breed cautions.
Hacker. Now, did he get a little bit of help? Oh, my goodness, a little bit of help from Chris Stouffer, the man who has one name.
See them all kind of bunched up going through 1 and 2. And looks like Christopher just gets in the back of, I don't know who that is, or is that Christopher crashing? Sorry.
No, that's Ron Hacker. Christopher got into his gearbox.
Sorry, it looked like Ron Hacker had to check up a little bit as he's getting wide, and Christopher didn't, and just kind of ran right into the back of him and spun him out. There we go, right there.
There you go. That's why we have Richie Hearn here to help bail out the driver that does the putting. Always another story to learn.
Yeah, I mean, you get up high like that, and you're going to have to breathe it a little bit, and, it's just unfortunate. And for Ron, I'm sure he's not happy about it, but yellow flag.
And now we come back live. So what's happened there under green? Well, Tony Schoen was able to get around George Zanzaldo. George, one of the drivers who stayed out. That's about it.
Yeah, it definitely helps out the guys that didn't pit, so they could they can extend that window out a little bit. So really what they're hoping for is to go a little ways into this run and get another yellow flag, and then everybody will pit, and then they'll make that jump up just by just by natural causes there. So if we do go green, they're screwed. But this definitely gives them a little more opening on how long they can go. Our biggest mover right now, I would put up as George Anzaldo, 31st to 7th spot.
What I'm going to do right now is take a short break, and then we will come back before we go green.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit. Streaming cyberspace into your place on the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, round number 5 from Pocono. Time to go racing. Michael Goodman is our lap leader, is our race leader. And he takes him down into the first corner.
Yeah, you can see all these guys kind of weaving and bobbing all over the place as we got trying to get a pass for second place. It looks like Joe Branch trying to go underneath Tyler Groff. Not going to make it happen, but these guys are starting to stretch it out a little bit to those guys who didn't pass. Back there, I do see Tony Schoen trying to make some moves. He's going to try to go, not going to quite going to make it, but he's in a hurry to get back up to the front.
Yep, Schoen gets another one of those drivers that stayed out. Connor Harrington following him through. Harrington on fresher tires, as is Schoen. Schoen races in 5th, Harrington in 6th. They come up on the back of Ryan Corns. Now, Corns was off pace to begin with, so this really won't give us an indication of new tires versus old tires, because there's really not a level playing field there between Schoen and Corns. But Schoen now up, making a move. How about a pass up here for 2nd position, working the high side? That is Michael Goodman. Nope, that's Goodman on the high side, Branch on the low side.
Yeah, he tried to go down to the bottom there and try to make it happen, but he got pinched off. Oh, he got a spin.
Mercy.
Oh, no. Oh, he saves it.
Connor Harrington with the save of the season so far. Mr. Flagman, put that yellow flag down and get to know Connor Harrington.
Comes right down into that. That's the tunnel turn right there. It got clipped and able to save it right in front of the whole field. So nice job by him, and I'm sure everybody thankful that he didn't spin out. You see he gets clipped right there, and that tunnel turn is tight. So it's really a one-lane corner. It's very tough to go 2x2, but nice job by Connor keeping that car going straight.
All right, let's come back in on about 17th position. This is Connor Harrington going around. Ryan Corns is, we got a problem. Sage Karam. Oh, right in front of Justin Kirby. We'll have that for you in a second. The car just got loose. Justin Kirby, I don't know how he avoided this one. Boink.
Oh, man, it's a big hit by Sage right into the inside wall. His race is going to be done.
And not only Kirby, but then when he came back out on the track, Sean Cole and Robert Bluen did a great job.
And you see Sage just gets into the aero wash of the car in front of him and washes up, tries to get out of it. You can't panic and step on the brake. You just got to hope for the best, and washes up into that wall. And, that's just the way it goes sometimes, and comes across and just, man, good thing we didn't get a big collection of cars.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the end of Sage's race.
Sean Cole and Robert Bluen were going as fast as they could, trying to get through before Karam's car caromed back up into them. See how I did that there?
Yes.
Hey. Page 17 in the GSRC Commentator's Handbook. All right, we are working lap number 20. It is still not time to pit. I don't think Goodman's going to come in. I don't think any of these guys are coming. I don't think Graf's coming in until they get to the magic number 30. Guys, listen to me. They're not. They come in now. This makes no sense. All right, I don't understand this, but okay. So those guys come in before the magic 30 lap mark.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the things you're just going to work backwards here, and just you never know when those yellow flags are going to come. So you know it's going to sort itself out, and take it while you can, and you just work backwards. And all this does is just give you a wider opening as we get closer to the end. So you can only push your luck so far. So somebody's just got to get in there, take the fuel, and take the tires and race it.
Joe Branch stays out. The only one that makes any sense to me. He'll need to come in the next 9 laps. I guess it got to the point where you start to worry about getting caught out by the yellow. But
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, at some point you're getting, Joe's getting a little greedy. And the problem is even if a yellow flag comes out early, nobody's going to pit. Like, they just pitted.
Yeah.
So it's just going to cycle you to the back. So sometimes, you just got to take it in little chunks, and we'll see. Like I said, I've been proven wrong many, many times. That's why I'm not hired as a crew chief for anybody on the real world. And, but I just probably would have pitted and just jumped into the bandwagon with everybody else.
Okay, fans, I know you have many wish lists that you want from iRacing. You want rain and you want, I don't know, Godzilla to attack tracks. I understand. Could we all agree to unite and ask for two things? One, when we have a race at Road America, can we cut the pace lap down to just half a lap? And two, could somebody please get the pace car driver to pick up the speed here at Pocono? In the pace car, my 96-year-old mother-in-law, Mama Jean, out there putting it. How fast? Can we see how fast the pace car is actually going? We can probably check that out. About 60. Yeah. 120, okay, kilometers per hour. I can have no idea what that is. Certainly not Sammy Hagar in the pace car. All right. Hey, how about a shout out to Damon Martinez? Gives us a chance to talk about some of the drivers. Damon Martinez, this rookie. I know nothing about him. I don't know where he's from. I sure like to talk to him. Maybe come in and talk to us this race. There you see him right there, sitting in third. Have a catch. Andrew Kinsella up 14 positions, racing in sixth. Who are our big disappointments? Well, as luck would have it, one of the biggest disappointments, our spotlighted driver, car number 62. He lives in Pennsylvania. I think he would be good here at Pocono. That's not the case today. Stefan Larkamp started in 9th, racing in 31st. But
And,
the day is young.
I want to say I made a call down to the pace car driver, Soup, and they're running exactly 75 miles an hour.
75. Okay, I guess it's all relative to the size of the track.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty fast. I know at Indy, the pace car goes 100, and it feels like you're going about 20, but it's just the size of the track. And hopefully we get some green flag running here.
Well, here's the good news. Mama Jean has brought the pace car in. We're going racing. Tony Schowen, your early leader, is out there still. Shout out to Joe Branch, as he's going to hang on, race as long as he can. He's on a 22-lap stint, but a lot of that has been under yellow. I say he can probably go to 40. The rookie, Damon Martinez, the mystery man.
Yeah, I mean, even if they can go to 40, that's fine. But but everybody's probably going to pit, so we'll see how it plays out. His tires are not going to be great, but you can see Damon Martinez, Adam Block are really trying hard to get around him, and here goes Damon Martinez right on the inside. This is the corner I was talking about, the flat turn 3. Once those tires are burnt, it's really hard to keep that speed up.
He's not the shoveler. He's not the Blue Raja, but he is a mystery man as he races in second, having none of it. That's Joe Branch who wants part of it. Branch cannot make the car work down low. The tires are old, and it will not grip. Kinsella goes around. Stouffer goes around. Walker goes underneath.
Yeah, give a shout out to Andrew Kinsella as well. Started 20th, way up into the top 5 as he is making his moves. Right now, Joe Branch is kind of getting swallowed up. He's got a whole pack of hungry cars right behind him at the moment. He is begging for a yellow flag.
Walker goes by underneath. Right on board with Branch.
Andrew Kinsella up to second place now. It's like I said, starting 20th. And he has made his move. And he's got himself in a good spot. We got Damon Christopher trying to go by Damon Martinez. Not going to be able to make it. Oh, boy, that was close. Boy, that was close going through that tunnel turn right there.
Stouffer lifts, stays off of the gearbox of Martinez and off the outside wall. Stouffer hangs on in fourth. Schowen, who was running away with it, that is not the case because right now, have a catch. Andrew Kinsella, he's a flying down into corner number 1. He is there, and it's the lead is there if he wants.
Yeah, and I think Andrew's going to be happy with where he's at. He's got out of the trouble zone of being in the mid-pack. He's got sucked. Oh, he's going to make a move right here going into turn 2. And there he goes. Look like it's going to be a clean pass.
New leader. Well, if he can hang on to it out of this final corner to the start-finish line, it looks like he's going to do it easily.
Yeah, nicely done there.
Shawan and Kinsella on similar pit strategies. They've been out there for 16 laps. Branch will need to come in first. Now, the leaders of all the guys who came in last time, let's go down and look at Tyler Groff in 14th position. He's only been out there for 7 laps, so there's going to be about a 9-lap gap where he'll be your leader, assuming he can hold off the rest of those guys. Goodman and Wardlow are the other driver.
And he's in a good spot there because we've seen these races, get some yellow flags out of the way and then just kind of settle in. So he's got a 9-lap gap, a buffer as far as when he has to pit. So he's in a good spot.
He can stay out there and hope that the yellow falls during those 9 laps when he's leading. He'll have a lap on the field. Of course, he'll have to come in and take a pit stop. Everyone will cycle around, but he'll end up back at the front. Fan favorite, Tyler Graff, doing what Tyler does. Right now, taking a 25th place car, putting it in 4th. Go.
I was just going to watch the battle between 3rd and 4th. Christopher put it on the inside of Damon Martinez. Sorry, the other way around. Damon Martinez on Christopher, and they actually touched going through turn 1 and 2, or maybe it was the tunnel turn there. And no drama, but it was close.
Again, nobody knows much about Martinez, this commentator included. Maybe the drivers are the same. We'll find out how much room Adam Blocker and Dan Guerin give him, a couple of veterans, as they come up behind the rookie.
Yeah, right on board with Dan Guerin. I was just going to point out he's starting to make his move. Started 12th at the 6th spot, but he's starting to suck right up behind Adam Blocker. And I think we're kind of getting to the point in this run where people are just going to settle down, save some fuel, and just see how it plays out. But we got some big players that have moved up to the front top half of the field.
You see those 3 guys? Look at that field coming at you. There's Joe Branch. Enjoy it while it lasts, Joe. It's about time for pit stop pretty soon.
Right, he's hanging on. He's got a bunch of cars behind him, and he's hanging on. He's going to be pitting under green here soon if we don't get a yellow flag. But Andrew Casella is starting to open up a gap here to Tony Schoen. He's got 0.8 of a second on the field, which is a lot at these speeds. Tony Schoen's starting to fall a little bit back into Christopher's grasp, but everybody's just kind of taking it easy. Even Adam Blocker and Damon Martinez doesn't look like he's trying to make a move, just saving some fuel at the moment.
We look at that battle there, that pinata full of bees that includes Joe Branch, Brandon Limpcom, and Tyler Groff. Just to follow up on Kinsella, remember he qualified in 20th position, raced his way to the front. That car is fast. He just had a bad qualifying run. He is truly class of the field. There's a couple blue cars side by side. Imagine one of those might be Adam Blocker. And I've been told that Damon is in a pink car. Sure enough. Splitting up the pink and blue is Dan Guerin.
Yeah, Dan Guerin, that black and yellow car, he's going to go right on by Damon Martinez. He was able to go by both those guys, so move Dan Guerin up another spot. Adam Blocker looking on the inside of Damon Martinez. He kind of chops him off in 1 and 2, takes the air off of him. That's going to give him a run on Dan Guerin as they head on down to the turn 2 tricky tunnel turn.
Martinez gets the pass made as he gets to the inside of Guerin's Lock Precision Racing machine. Up in 2nd position, we got side-by-side, Stouffer down low, Schoen above.
Christopher makes the pass, but Schoen's going to get the run out of the turn 3. And he's going to make that pass going into turn 1. These guys are going back and forth, and they're just kind of slingshotting each other. And they might be working a little bit with each other. You can do that if you work well. You can go back and forth to try to get back up to the next car in front. And it kind of looks like what they're doing right now is just cooperating and drafting back up, hopefully up to Andrew Kinsella, who's opened up a 2-second gap on Christopher. That's pretty amazing.
Indeed. Kinsella cooking with hot fish grease right now. 2.2 seconds on Stouffer.
Yeah, he's definitely in the groove right now. Christopher's ahead of Tony Schoen, trying to chase down Andrew Kinsella. Still that battle between Martinez, Guerin, and Blocker, although as Martinez has kind of gotten in front of those two.
Nice
lap
racing.
34. Everybody kind of separated out. I mean, there's a couple of small battles out there, but nothing too dramatic. There's a big gap between Connor Harrington and Brandon Limp. And Brandon Limperkin is leading a big pack of cars. Joe Branch still hanging in there, has not pitted yet. Really curious to see how long he can go, but he's kind of slowly falling back as his tires are probably not working so great.
But here's the deal. He's made it to lap 35. He is definite two-stopper from here. I know what he's doing. He's two stops. Everybody else maybe have to make 3.
Yeah, we'll just see how the yellow flags fall. I mean, he started 13th. He's running 13th, so he's kind of back to where he started. But doing a good job hanging in there. But I'm assuming that he's sweating it a little bit at the moment.
Kinsella is making a pit stop. He got to lap 36 and said, "This is as far as I need to go." Pitting out in front. Now, this is what we talked about. Can he stay on the lead lap? We don't think so. He had a 2-second lead on Stouffer.
Yeah, no, that's
into corner 2 right now.
I was going to say, it's interesting that he pitted now and nobody else is. So he's probably working the numbers backwards. And I wouldn't be surprised if I don't want to curse it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just go a long green flag run here as we got the jitters out and everybody's separated. So here he comes onto the track.
Out. And he is on the lead lap. He is doing this like a road race. In road racing, it's different than oval racing because in road racing, you can pit and not lose a lap, and that's what Kinsella did. He is on the lead lap.
Yeah, no, I think maybe getting that 2-second gap that he had on the leaders probably worked out in his favor as he's just in front of the leaders. He's going to have enough time to get up to speed, and he's got the fresh tires as well, so nice job.
So now he can race. If the yellow comes out, no problem. He'll be in the lead. If they have to pit under green, no problem. He'll be in the lead. That's what you call a win-win situation.
Yeah, I think the key was getting that 2-second gap. Is probably why he was working so hard. He probably knew exactly how much space he needed to make that stop happen. And we're not even sure. He might even short-filled on that stop to make that happen. I don't know how long it takes for the pit stop, but he might have short-filled and knew ahead of time he needed to stop this long to stay in the lead.
And he went 5 laps past that magic number of 30. So in theory, he needed 5 laps less of fuel. Plus, there's going to be some yellow flags coming in. All right, here comes some more people. And Joe Branch, finally time for him to come in.
Yeah, and he's going to come in, take his stop. Meanwhile, Christopher's still hanging in there. We'll see if he comes in. He's got to be coming in pretty soon. Not coming in this lap, I don't think.
So who do we watch out for? Were you paying attention? All you little soldiers in Clipboard Army, Soup's Clipboard Army, did you mark it down? Tyler Graff is the guy to keep an eye on. He's racing in 12th right now. Branch comes out. Unfortunately for Joe, he wasn't able to stay on the lead lap, and that's kind of what happens when you pit. The difference between pitting from 13th or 2 laps or 2 seconds ahead in the lead.
Yeah, I was going to say Andrew Kinsella's in a seriously good spot right now. He is nowhere near, the leaders are nowhere near behind him. He's all by himself out there out front. He has a big window to play with.
Damon Martinez, Dan Garrett. Oh, no, it's not. It's Tony Schowen.
Yeah, second place car coming down pit lane. And we'll see how he comes out, but he's going to probably lose a lap at this moment.
Well, let's take this opportunity to pick up Havaketch, as they were only a couple seconds apart. There's Kinsella.
Yeah, he's going through 3 right now, and I think he's easily going to get in front of Tony Schowen. Schowen's coming off the jacks, coming out the pit lane. Now, the way they set this up is you have to go all the way around the apron in turns 1 and 2. You can't come out into 1, so that definitely slows you down. Andrew Kinsella is way past him. He's already down the backstretch.
So why do you want to watch a GSRC broadcast? Because unlike something you may see on network television, we're paying attention to a battle for 33rd between Andrew Kinsella and Tony Schowen. Why? Because eventually these guys are going to be the leader of the race.
Yeah, the key will be Chris Stouffer, who was 2 seconds behind Andrew. Andrew obviously had a great pit stop. And Chris Stouffer's staying out, though. He's not coming in. He's really waiting for that yellow flag. But like I say, Andrew's in an amazing spot. Getting that gap to the second place car was really the key. And just had a good stop, was able to get up speed, and now is just doing his thing out there.
Right on board with Adam Blocker. Keep in mind, Tyler Graff races now in 11th position. 9 seconds behind the leader.
Christopher's still always coming in. Christopher's coming in. So this is going to be the key to see where he comes out. He's also bringing with him, looks like Adam Blocker and Jason Galvin. That's going to put Dan Garrett out into the front. We'll have to watch where Andrew Kinsella comes out. Andrew Kinsella is coming out in the backstretch, heading towards turn 2 at the moment.
Tyler Graff moves up into 7th position and has a legitimate shot to lead at the halfway mark. He's only 14 laps away.
And there goes Andrew Kinsella right there on the screen. He's going by Christopher. Once again, that long pit lane exit going all the way around is really taking some toll on getting up to speed. So put Andrew Kinsella way out in the front. He was 2 seconds ahead of Christopher when he came in. He's going to be a lot more than that now.
So our leader right now is, well, I'm showing Dan Garrett. He'll be coming in. Brian Yazik makes a stop. Yazik finds his stall. Garen, Martinez, and Rigney, your top 3 right now for the time being.
Yep, it looks like Dan Garrett slowing down, and him and Martinez as well.
Rigney.
It's going to put Connor Harrington into the lead, it looks like.
Tyler Graff slots up into 3rd.
I tell you what, Andrew Kinsella, you know, one thing, like I said, these guys have gone longer and longer and longer waiting for that yellow flag, but now, because of that, they have to put more fuel in the car like we talked about. So their pits, ooh, we got a wreck. We got a car in the back stretch here.
Kirby, Justin Kirby. Might be fun to look at this from the point of view of Brian Greenlee. Caution comes out. Connor Harrington, Brandon Lipkeman, Tyler Graff. Some cars that needed one. Let's take a look at what it's like from Brian. It's not easy being Greenlee. He was a long time getting there. Just hoping that the car, you be the driver, you make the side. Go high or low. I'll go low and I'll go by.
Just pick a lane and go with it.
So there you have it. Bad news for some drivers, good news for other. Connor Harrington stays out. Brandon Limkeman in second. Tyler Graff in third. These guys will all be able to come in. Now, some guys will cycle around. Some guys are still on the lead lap. I expect that Kinsella will probably stay out. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to help some, hurt some. We'll see where Andrew does. He's really kind of the kingpin here. Obviously, a whole bunch of them are going to come into the pit lane, but it's going to be interesting to see if Andrew just stays.
What is interesting is Tyler Graff doesn't need to pit. He can really upset a lot of drivers. He decides to stay out and keep some guys from getting a wave around. I don't think he will do that, but it would sure be fun to see what would happen if he did. He's coming in.
Connor Harrington, Brandon Linkerman, Tyler Graff. All these guys are coming in. I'll be interested to see what Andrew does. And he's coming in too. So he's just going to get back on the same cycle and not take that risk.
Well, Dan Guerin stays out. Why not? He will be the leader. 3 cars in front of him. Brian Carey, Joe Branch, and Brian Greenlee will get the wave around. Dan Guerin will be our race leader, and he's only been out there for 2 laps. So, yeah.
Yeah, he just pitted, so there's no reason to come in. All these other folks had either not pitted yet or pitted quite a while ago.
Showen, Blocker, Galvin, they all stay out. Harrington looks like he will come out in 10th position as he pits from that spot.
It'll take a little bit to sort this out.
While they do that, let me take this opportunity to talk about one of our longtime sponsors, and that is Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products add instant immersion. I'm talking instant. Just like that. Here, that's my finger snapping right there. That's how fast the immersion is to any game, not just iRacing, but any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, you know what a Butt Kicker products do? They move actual mass, kind of like a tractor beam on Star Trek. You get the idea? It moves mass, and you know what that does? That produces a haptic immersion that is 2 things. It's powerful and it's accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products. You don't need to take a DNA test. They have all the family of products there at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION25 to get 25% off your order. Andrew Kinsella decides to top off.
Working the race backwards, working the numbers. It just opens up his window more and more. So, I mean, he was far enough back that it really didn't matter. So why not?
I think Kinsella is thinking that he can stop it from here. I'm doing my math right here. See, they have 49, 60. 60 gets you to 110. If you can go 30 and 30, you get to 110. But if there's caution flags, he can do it with 1 more stop.
Yeah, even
35 and 35 is 70. 70 and 50 is 120. I've done it. I've got it figured out.
Even if they don't have the caution flags, he has to take less fuel on the next stop, on the last stop.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, when you're running in the back third of the field, why not? Your only risk is getting caught up in somebody's mess, and Usually at this point in the race, everybody kind of sorts themselves out. We haven't seen too much crazy action, so there's a lot of room to race with. So we'll see what happens.
The lights are off the pace car. Mama Jean gonna bring it in. Gonna turn it over to Dan Garrett. He started in 12th. Time to go racing. Working lap 50. 70 to go from here. Can you one-stop it? Soup thinks you can. A little battle going on for second. The newcomer, Damon Martinez, being challenged by old-timer Christopher. Tony Schowen, maybe the fastest car out there, watching on.
Yeah, Christopher looking to the outside as they head towards the tunnel turn there. This is one groove corner, so they just proved me wrong. They made 2 cars wide. Ooh, almost some contact there, but they just barely made 2 cars.
Oh, again, boy, he's so close to Martinez. Or Martinez is close to him, depending on who your favorite driver is.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher's all the way up, but pretty much as high as he can get. Martinez is not giving him any room to race with. Christopher's going to just chop him off right there and just take the air off of his wing for a second, but he's got the second place position. And
Boys.
Martinez,
Boys.
Yeah, hey, it's too early for that.
Yeah, Martinez almost gets into the back of Stouffer, loses all of his momentum. That opens the door for Adam Blocker to try to go down underneath.
And Martinez tried to block him going into turn 3. He's not making too many friends at the moment as he's going to slow him down. Adam Blocker's going to get some action with Tony Schoen going by both of them into turn 1.
Coming into the party a little bit late, the Bakersfield boy, Jason Galvin. Hadn't heard much from him. Gridded 21st, racing in 6th right now. Looking to go underneath Schoen as Blocker tries to go underneath Martinez. I got a bad feeling about what I'm looking at right here.
I do too. I mean, these guys are racing really hard for we're not even halfway. And it kind of seems like people are a little bit heated up for no reason at the moment. But so far, so good. Meanwhile, Dan Garrett and Christopher just kind of just hanging out up front.
Now they get it single file for a little while. Boy, they are not happy to race in single file. Diving underneath, there goes Martinez.
There
going underneath this Blocker.
Blocker heading on the inside. He's going to try to take that position, and he does, going into the tunnel turn. Man, Martinez is getting so close to some of these guys. I mean, it's just really pushing your luck this early.
Gets the pass made, moves up into 3rd.
What's happening here with these guys racing so hard is just kind of checking up the whole field. It's just bringing that whole pack up to him. As now Jason Galvin is going to try to get the run on the outside. Who started 21st all the way up to 5th at the moment.
My, that's Blocker underneath Martinez. Galvin, yes, there is racing all through the field, but right now we're going to stay focused right here. Up front, there's a battle for the lead, but that is really just kind of cavalier up there as they're just swapping positions, I think.
Yeah, Christopher able to draft his way up to Dan, knowing these guys
Martinez.
They're probably just trying to get away from this group.
Blocker goes underneath.
Nuts.
Martinez now back to 5th position. That's Yazik in the mix now. Connor Harrington involved. Tony Schoen in there as well.
Yeah, Jason Galvin and Adam Blocker were able to get in front of Damon, but Damon's not making it easy for any of these guys behind him.
They sort out a little bit farther back. Harrington and Joe Hassard. We ride on board with Big Joe.
Up front, Christopher, Dan Guerin running side by side down the backstretch. But they got 2.5 second gap on third place, Adam Blocker.
Yeah, I don't mean to nonchalant that pass, but really those guys are just kind of got some choreography worked out right now, I think. Their lead 2.2 seconds over Adam Blocker that has left the nonsense that was going on behind him, well behind him.
Tony Schoen trying to get a pass done on Brian Yazik. Nothing too dramatic, but right behind them, they got Connor Harrington and Big Joe and Mike Rigney running pretty much side by side going into that tunnel turn here.
We continue to look at this little dance. 1, 2, now it's me. 3, 4, now it's you. That time it was at the line, it was Guerin. There's some debate whether they're dancing or if they're actually fighting right now. They're losing a bit of time to Adam Blocker. Blocker's a-coming.
Yeah, I mean, if they're trying to do the dance there, they're not doing it very well because they've lost a half a second in the last couple of laps. They just need to just kind of settle down. Meanwhile, Adam Blocker and Jason Galvin have teamed up, and they're kind of starting to close that down.
Yeah, and Guerin and Stouffer almost stepped on each other's feet there for a minute, so maybe it is more of a race than it is a choreography. Let's jump back and talk about one of our hard chargers, Mike Rigney. Oh, let me apologize. That's the opposite of a hard charger.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Our pole sitter got a little right to left problem there. Started on the pole, racing in 10th right now. Here comes Tyler Graff right behind him. And I tell you, that Tyler Graff car, that looks fast. We're right on board with that one.
Just keep an eye on Andrew Kinsella. He was the one who kind of had a good strategy going, came in late, top off. He's worked his way up to 24th position. Not really moving up as fast as I thought he would. But once again, he might just be trying to save as much fuel as possible knowing he has a fast car.
Drivers who are out of the race: Justin Kirby, Ron Hacker, James Brandt, the Watchman, Michael Cohn, and our big name, Real World IndyCar driver, Sage Karam.
Oh, Andrew Kinsella, they're going 3 wide down the front stretch, just trying to make a move on Ryan Corns and Isaiah Dupree. Don't think he's going to be able to make it happen, but it's one thing you can see on that long shot we have there, how wide the straightaway is. You can get about 6 cars wide on that front stretch.
Talk about some iconic camera shots when they're coming at you down that long straightaway of Pocono. You know right where you are when you see that one. We ride on board with Paul Jenkins in the minus 273. We talked about it, those 2 guys up front. He was coming. Well, he's there now. Adam Blocker moving into 2nd position.
Yeah,
you know what happened? Look at that. Stouffer's lost touch.
Yeah, Stouffer's lost touch, but those guys battling around. I mean, Dan Guerin's got 1.6 seconds on Adam, but it was 2.2 at one point. So those guys racing as hard as they were kind of messed that up. Adam Blocker now into 2nd spot. He's got Chris Stouffer right in his tail. They've also brought Jason Galvin along, who's doing a great job, who started 21st all the way up to...
Just about halfway through a fuel run. Kinsella has a couple laps advantage on everybody as he came in to top off.
Yeah, we haven't seen a full green flag run yet, so we don't know quite how far they can go. I know they give us the info, but that's not always right on the money. So if we can keep going, we'll get a really good idea how long they can go on a full tank of fuel.
My partner, Richie Hearn, being very kind to the Lionheart guys. They lie to us is what they do. I just started now. As a rule of thumb, I just add a couple laps on there every time.
Yeah, I mean, when they do their runs, I mean, running in the Retro Series, they do their runs, and you just kind of just calculate it. But, you know, you lift a little here, lift a little there. It's easy to gain a lap or two.
Well, right now, Andrew Kinsella needs to gain 5 laps on a stint. If he can go to lap 95, he has a chance to one-stop this from here. He's in the best position of anybody out there.
Yeah, he's in a good position. He's up to 20th spot, but unfortunately, he's had to race pretty hard to get around some of these guys. The next car up on him is Brian Beard and Justin Weaver, and he needs to get up to them and try to just draft along if he can.
Isaiah Dupree making a stop. Isaiah not having his best night. He comes out 1 lap down in 35th. We'll see how that shakes out when everybody else comes in. Correct myself, he is 2 down. See the graphic right there? Plus 2 laps.
Up front, Dan Guerin, that gap is slowly coming down. Not long ago, we were 1.6 seconds. We're down to 1.4. Adam Blocker just tracking him down a little bit at a time. Bringing along Christopher and Jason Galvin as well. See on that long shot that we just had. Not too far behind. You get within about a second, you're going to start picking up the draft, and that'll just help him along.
Just heard race control come over the microphone, give somebody a warning. I couldn't make out who it was. Let's give it to Bob Mikas. I'm sure it wasn't him, but we haven't given him much love, so let's say that it was Bob. Uh-oh. We have trouble. Dustin Wardlow, the Candyman, he grazes the wall. Oh, my goodness. That woke Chris Sleepy Rellini up here, and we're seeing
no yellow yet, so he's
no yellow
along. If he can get down to the apron here, it's going to stay green as we go to the replay. You see him turning the wheel, and it's just washing up. That's that turn 2 curse right there, and it's very, very tight line through there. As soon as that front end goes away, there's really no room to fit. But no green, no yellow, so we're going to stay green.
We come back in. Let's focus on the guys trying to get into the top 10. We talked about the meat man, Bobby Mikas, back there in 11th position. Right behind him, it's Tyler Groff and Michael Goodman. Goodman qualified in 16th, up a few spots.
Yeah, Tyler Groff, 25th to 12th. Good job. Got to go back to Jason Galvin, though, 21st to 3rd. Even Dan Guerin starting 12th to 1st. So obviously qualifying didn't make that much of a difference if you can stay clean. And you can race your way up to the front here.
George Anzaldo almost put it into the wall. That allows, let's go to 21st, Stefan Larkamp, our spotlighted driver, to make his way around. We're going to do it. We're going to show you Stefan Larkamp racing live and a recorded lap because that's what we can do here on GSRC. Our spotlighted driver has managed to survive so far. So what's going on with him? Well, you can see those right there, the stats, making his 26th start. No poles, no wins, 5 top 5s. Now, I'd like to go 16 top 10s out of 26. I figure if you get better than 50% into your top 10, you're doing okay. Made his first start in Phoenix last season. His best finish was 2nd. And we come back live. And the Bakersfield boy, Jason Galvin, coming in.
All right, this might set off a chain reaction here as Dan Guerin is close to that window. I mean, really the guy to watch is Andrew Kinsella. He's up to 14th spot, but we know he's got a few laps on it. And, you know, if he's been able to save some fuel as well, he's definitely looking good.
Yazek, Galvin, and Hazard have a consensus as they all decide to pit on lap number 70.
Dan Guerin staying out, as well as Adam Blocker. Christopher coming into the pit.
This is a green flag stint. We haven't seen one of these before. Guerin out there for 25 laps. Blocker for 27.
Yeah, they're not going very far, not going to that 30-lap window. So, lap 71. You want to do some math?
2 stops for everybody. 2 stops for everyone.
It's really going to come down to 2 stops for everyone, but some people are going to have to take more fuel than others. Yep. So there goes your track position. Yep. And go back to Andrew Kinsella up to 12th spot.
And then you always risk the yellow flag coming out at an inopportune time. Remember, Kinsella, we figure, can run a couple laps longer because he pitted more recently. 10th position, director, if we could, a pass being made. Justin Weaver going underneath Chris Sleepy Lanini. We have not seen much of the Moby Dickey machine out there. Man, that car is a mess. Looking at the Moby Dickey's machine, I guess maybe they've all picked up a lot of dirt, but this car very sloppy. Adam Blocker taking a stop. Fan favorite Tyler Graff coming in. Staying out, running long.
Yeah, Dan Guerin's still out there, though. He's working 27 laps. See if he can go to that full 30. He's been out front, too, so there's been no saving fuel. And here he comes right now, about 28 laps. Ooh, locks it up coming into the pit lane. It's real key to get these pit stops right. I mean, at 220 miles an hour, which basically what they're doing, it's 100 yards every second. So think about that. You're just a second longer in the pit stop, you're going to lose 100 yards. So these green flag pit stops are more important than you think, not just on timing when you come in, but just making it work.
Well, our race leader, he found himself on the pole to start the race. Haven't heard much from him from a while, but he's back up front now. Talking about Mike Rigney.
Back up front, staying out. He's working lap 28 at the moment. Got some other takers in the pit lane I saw in the background. Lanini coming in. Connor Harrington up to second. Bob Micus doing a great job. The guy with the best helmet paint job ever. He's running in third, staying out.
We still have 20 drivers that we expect to have to make a pit stop here really soon. Rigney, Harrington, Micus, Weaver, Goodman. Andrew Kinsella up to 6th. He might be the guy who stays out the longest, hoping for that yellow flag.
Yeah, Andrew Kinsella all the way up to 6th spot, so he's staying out there. He's like about 2 laps longer on his, or shorter on his run than everybody else. And that doesn't count if he saves some fuel, but
want to know what good tires do for you? Joe Branch just drives around Andrew Kinsella without a problem.
Yeah, these guys are right at the end of their stint, so I'm sure tire wear is coming into play, especially with these hot conditions.
The Von Hanson's meat machine has come in of Bob Micus. Pitting from third. Rigney is in from the lead. That gives Connor Harrington the front position for the time being. Moby Dickies up into second. Justin Weaver working on a 29-lap stint, as is Connor Harrington. Who's the leader of all the cars who've pitted? Dan Guerin. Jason Galvin is in second. Galvin has about 0.7 of a second on Brian Yozik. They race for second and third of all the cars that have pitted.
Yeah, Dan Guerin's sitting 18th, but he's obviously the leader of all the cars that are starting to pit. Connor Harrington still out there, still running around, hoping for a yellow flag at any moment. Justin Weaver, same thing. Michael Goodman, Andrew Kinsella up to fourth now.
Not going to happen, but Kinsella needs to go 8 more laps. If he can go 8 more laps, he can make his pit stop and go the distance. Not going to get there.
All these guys up front working lap 30. Connor Harrington going to buy at one more time. So there's that stat at the beginning, 30-lap stint. These guys are obviously proving it wrong.
There's Andrew Kinsella. Probably heard me, listening to the broadcast. Didn't mean to burst your balloon there, Andrew, but it was time to pit. He comes in.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that because he had a little window on these guys. But, if you start seeing your lap times fall down, you're just losing position on the track. So sometimes it's better just take the pit stop and instead of losing the time on the track. So let's say 1 second is, 100 yards. So it adds up fast.
Weaver stays out. Harrington stays out. They're hoping for a yellow flag right now. Interesting, though. I think they are all... Everybody's still on the lead lap if I go to see here. Yeah, I don't think Harrington or Weaver are able to put any of the big names a lap down. Yeah, Branch maybe. So there are 7 cars that are still running long. 32-lap stint for Harrington. Stays out again. It's getting to the point. There are 40 to go, and Harrington just went 33.
Yeah, the problem is I'm looking at the lap times, and he is literally running a second slower a lap than Dan Guerin, so he's just losing that distance on the track. Even though he's staying out hoping for the yellow flag, you're not really helping your cause. So if you can't make it that far and one stop it, now he could prove us wrong, but if you can't make it that far, you're just hurting yourself. And I think he's going to come in right here. He's coming in.
Yep. So
with a couple of yellows, he could make it, but he's not going to make it if it goes green.
So I believe that's going to turn it over to Flanagan, but there's no way Flanagan could stay out. He comes in. Jenkins comes in. Samuel Ryman comes in. That's everybody. But Harrington, like you said, he got to where he's got 39 to go. And if it becomes a yellow fest, maybe he can do it without stopping.
Yeah, I mean, if we get, you're going to need 2 sets of yellows, but at the same time, you're going to just be struggling on those tires. So he's just, you got to make it, you got to work something, and hopefully it works out. But I think we're going to go straight up green to the end.
Harrington comes out. He cycles out in 13th spot as Michael Goodman goes around him. Comes out right before Chris Lanini. So when it's all said and done, Dan Guerin back in the lead. Big winners on that stint. Galvin and Yozik. Now, you remember, here's your point. They came in early. Galvin and Yazik very, very early, so they've been running faster laps for a long time. But of course, they'll pay for it a little bit later. They'll start to slow down now. But that's why they were able to pick up so many positions. You're looking at Galvin, and there's Yazik behind him. It's about 2 seconds back to Adam Blocker. Blocker on 3 laps fresher tires.
Yeah, we got a long ways to go. We got one more stop, so it's going to sort itself even more. I mean, Andrew Kinsella's plowed his way back up into 8th spot.
Nice battle we're looking at here.
These guys are racing hard right there. You can see that center car just stuff himself right in the middle. I don't know who that was, but that was close.
Iracing Iflag. That is Mike Rigney, your pole sitter.
Yeah, these guys are racing pretty hard back here. They're not helping themselves out much. But sometimes you got to start getting your elbows out as we get closer to the end. We're working lap 85 of 120.
I'll tell you right now, conspiracy buffs, those guys who always think like we never landed on the moon and 3 people shot JFK, you got to start to wonder that Mike Rigney sits on the pole and he's racing the onboard camera of the race sponsor. I'm just saying, smells a little fishy.
Well, if he's going to get up to the lead, he's got some work to do. He's running 11th right now. He's got Michael Goodman and Justin Weaver all over the back of him. Connor Harrington went by him a little while ago. But he's got some work to do to get back up into that top spot.
Good battle. That's Goodman trying to get underneath Rigney. Moby Dickey machine, Justin Weaver watching on. A nice battle for 11th position. Just ahead of these guys. There, as you see the pass, those 2 drivers ahead is the side-by-side. The 2 guys ahead, that's Martinez and Harrington. Boy, I like that camera shot.
Going by the lap times, Andrew Kinsella is running a half a second lap faster than most of the leaders in the front as he works on Bob Mikas at the moment. So he's definitely hooked up. He's got a lot of ground to make up, but he's faster than everybody else.
All right, I'm going to take you to 8th position real quick. Remember this guy? It's Andrew Kinsella. He just worked his way around Bob Mikas. Don't forget about Havaketch. He started in 20th, drove through the field early to get to the lead, did some interesting pit strategy, fell back, and is now coming.
Yeah, he's a half a second faster than everybody on the field, including Dan Guerin. So he's definitely hooked up, got those new tires working for him, and he's just making up that distance. So I think he's going to be a player. He's going to try to make the move on Big Joe going around the outside into turn 1. Big Joe's going to just squeeze him up a little bit, but I think Andrew's going to have the momentum to go around the outside.
See you later, Big Joe Hassard. Move Havaketch up into 6th position. Next on his hit list, the driver who started on the outside of row 1, Tony Schoen. I don't think this is going to take long either. Boy, give Kinsella credit there for taking his time, not forcing the issue.
Now he's making his way up, but he's got a long ways to go. Just looking at, I mean, even Dan Guerin has a 5.5 second gap over 2nd place. So it's going to be a while before he gets up. And he's definitely making a move.
Dan Guerin up by 5.5 seconds. There he is. Galvin and Yazik racing in formation in 2nd and 3rd. The man who is coming, Andrew Kinsella, 12 seconds behind the leader. 31 laps to get there.
Kind of great battle here with Bob Mikas and Big Joe and Connor Harrington. These guys are just racing paper thin apart. Going through that tunnel turn just a little while ago.
Coming at you.
Love that shot.
Mike,
Right.
12 spot. I do too. This is great. And here we're on board with Harrington. Somebody just got in the wall. It was Chris Stouffer from 18th position. Hits the outside wall, comes back across, hits the inside wall. You feel a draft. The pit window is open.
Yeah, he just that's unfortunate because Christopher was running up in the front early on, but you can see he's going to go in the corner all by himself. Enters a little high and just gets up into the marbles, and away you go, and from one side to the other. So it's going to open up the window. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody pits, and it'll be a straight-up fight to the end.
Everybody's coming in, assuming they can go 30, and we know we can because we saw Harrington go 32. So we are in the ballpark. Some guys will need more fuel than others. Here's the deal. Everybody needs enough fuel to go probably 29 laps. But some people have more fuel in their tank right now than the rest of them.
Yeah, this is going to play in the part. The guys that pitted the latest will take less fuel. It's minor amount, but you can make the easiest way to pass somebody is in pit lane. So some of these guys might make up a few spots just purely based on that.
If we were doing an MX5 race, it would probably be more significant as those cars fuel so slowly. Honestly, the fuel comes in so fast in these Delaras that 3 or 4 gallons, you're looking at less than a second probably. Here they come. One of the most boring things to watch on iRacing is a pit stop, but we're going to do it right now. You won't see the crewmen working on the cars because we just don't have the technology to do that, but you will see the cars come in, go up on the jacks. The first car you'll see will be Mike Rigney. He'll be at that very last pit stop because he's our pole sitter. Pit stops are assigned depending on where you qualify. Dan Guerin was leading them into pit lane, though. And he leads them out of pit lane. Jason Galvin, who was right behind him on the track, comes out in second. Blocker gets the best of, look at this, Shawan, Kinsella. Yasik gets crushed. Goes into pit lane in third, comes out in sixth. There you have it. So I think this is a good opportunity for us here at GSRC to take another short break. We can come back and we will go green all the way to the checkered flag as we'll stay with you without a break from here on out. See you in just a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Cyberspace streaming into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, round number 5 from Pocono. Time to go racing. We've been racing for an hour and 45 minutes. We've got ourselves a sprint to the end. 27 laps. That is Dan Guerin looking to the outside. Jason Galvin.
Galvin on the outside. Adam Blocker coming down the inside. They're going 3 wide into the tunnel turn. This is not going to work. Dan Guerin decides to lift a little bit, let Adam go, but he's going to hold on to that second position.
Galvin and Guerin punched a big hole in the air. Blocker said, "Thank you very much." And Adam, I believe, leads his first lap of this race. Galvin now ahead of Guerin. Guerin, who has been dominant, finds himself having to work for it. Schowen, Yazik, and then the man everyone's been watching, Andrew Have-A-Catch Kinsella back in 6th. Tyler Graff, you may have saw a car coming out of the pits. That was him. Now they come up. Tyler Graff is being lapped, and they are working around. That is Isaiah Dupree. Cousin Dupree doing a good job getting out of the way. Racing in 30th. Isaiah saying, "What have I got myself into?"
Adam Blocker out in front, but man, these guys are battling hard for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And we got that, looks like we got that lap car right in the middle of it. Looks like
now, mind you, Dupree is 1 lap down. He is fighting to get his lap down. This is a little easier to swallow when you're fighting to get your lap back than if you were multiple laps down.
I mean, if you're 1 lap down, it's worth fighting for, because if you can get in front of the leader and the yellow flag comes out, there's no lucky dog here, but you'll get waved around, but definitely makes it tough for the guys behind. As Jason Galvin's going to try to dispose of Isaiah Dupree as he does.
Galvin gets that pass made. Getting a little bit late for some of these guys. Adam Blocker races on the eastern seaboard. Real world racing time getting to be about midnight 30. Dan Guerin's a Miss Westerner. Jason Galvin is still early for him in California. Going down to about 9:30 local time.
Yeah, I got a huge battle here for between Micas, Martinez, Big Joe, Justin Weaver. David Martinez dives onto the inside of Bob Micas. They come so close. You can see right in front of us right there. Big Joe's doing the battle, but that David Martinez and Bob Micas doing the same battle right in front of them.
Oh, man, somebody's better hook me up to a CPAP machine. Damon Martinez takes my breath away. Man, he races so close to the competition. He's got himself a good internet connection right now.
Yeah, he is not giving any room to any of us as Justin Weaver's now looking to get by Dave Martinez. He's gonna back off as he goes into turn one. I thought he was gonna make a move, but not gonna do it just yet.
All this going on behind Adam Blocker, who has just been kind of sandbagging this race. Finds himself up front with a car with good pace. Kinsella, we talked about, showing nothing for these guys. There is Blocker.
Yeah, earlier Kinsella was a half a second faster than those guys. Now he's 4/10 slower, so kind of lost his mojo.
Our pole sitter Mike Rigney races in 12th position. We got about 20 to go. Well, let's be more precise, Soup. 21 to go, actually.
That battle between Micas, Martinez, and Weaver has kind of settled down a little bit. They've single-filed out between Mike Rigney trying to make his way back, started on the pole, trying to make his way back to the front. Not really working so well for him at the moment. Michael Goodman really trying hard to hold back Chris Laney for that 13th and 14th spot. But right now, everybody's kind of just... Looks like everybody's just kind of single-filed out, just kind of waiting for the end.
What a great camera shot. Thank you, Dougie Beard. Sometimes my jaw drops with where you put the camera. That was a nice looking shot. Let's go to 7th real quick. This is Bob Micas going around Andrew Kinsella. That's a bit surprising, not to downplay what Bob Micas can do. Bob's a solid driver, but I really thought Andrew Kinsella had a car that was going to go towards the front.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, he was really running fast that last stint, but this last pit stop not working too well as Damon Martinez is pushing him up.
Oh, we're hearing Kinsella hit the wall, I guess, on the restart.
It might have a little damage, just not working so well. I'm going to say Damon Martinez hasn't made a lot of friends out there today. He's run everybody tight out there, and he's making some of those guys maybe a little nervous once they're around him.
Maybe so, but he hasn't hit anybody. Well, I might have hit. Oh, my goodness!
You know, like I say, you don't get any closer than that. So Justin Weaver trying to make the move on Damon and not working out. As we watched on board, looked like we were watching on the back from Andrew.
All right, well, that settles down a little bit. We'll come back when somebody makes another shot on him.
Up front, everybody's separated out a little bit. First, second, third, and fourth. Jason Galvin holding on to third. Tony Schoen hanging tight in fourth. Pretty close, but not close enough. Brian Yazik trying to hold off Connor Harrington. Like I said, I think this is all the calm before the storm is what I'm thinking.
Galvin beginning to run down Blocker. Sitting back there, he is 0.3 of a second back. He closes up. He's basically there now if he wants to be.
Oh yeah, Garen's in the draft position. And right now, I think they're just trying to save some tires for the. No real reason to push it. We got 16 laps to go, 16 and a half.
Remember, they will be racing at the end of their stint. Cars that are good now, drivers that are comfortable on new tires may not be that way when we get to the end. We've seen how much these tires go away.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, Soup. I mean, sometimes just saving a little bit here is going to pay dividends at the end so you can get that drive off the corners. The guys that are racing real hard right now, maybe not so good at the end. So we'll kind of see how that plays. Got about 15 laps to go.
Well, we talked about the lap track of Isaiah Dupree. He did a real good job of hanging in there, not causing any problems. He's racing third in line now behind Blocker, Guerin, and Galvin. But now our attention goes to Tyler Graft in the 26 as he is about to go, which will be 2 laps down here. Tyler's a pretty sharp guy. I don't think he'll be much of an issue when they get here. He is the last car 2 laps down. He's actually the last car out there racing right now. So he's just hoping to vulture a few spots if there are trouble.
Top 6, 7 cars all separated out pretty evenly. Nothing going on. Best battle on the track right now is between Martinez and Justin Weaver, who's tried many times to get by. He's going to try again. Yeah, not quite so much right now in the tunnel turn. He's already seen how Damon will race him in that corner, so he's going to take it easy and maybe get him down the front stretch.
Moby Dickey's machine did not have a good run last time out, looking to improve on that right now. Damon Martinez, the rookie, has been impressive speed-wise. And as much as we've had our heart stopped by the way he races, he hasn't really gotten into anybody, so he just races closer than, yeah.
Yeah, he just races hard all the way through, so some people might take that the wrong way, but no, he hasn't hit anybody. It's just been really tight.
We can, as we're looking there at, is that Martinez we're looking at? I believe it is.
Yeah,
that car looks pink.
Martinez and Justin Weaver. Justin looks like he's close enough to make a move, but he's not ready to do it yet. Looks like he might just try to save his tires like we talked about. He's working on about 12 laps to go.
Let's go back up to the leaders real quick as they begin to get to Tyler Graff. Let's see how Tyler plays this. Honestly, Tyler with pretty good pace.
Tyler had some good pace early on, just the way it worked out for him to be back in that position. So he's not slow by any means, just pit stop strategy. But if you watch, as you watch on board with Guerin, you can really watch him go into those corners and kind of peek his nose. He's not going to go into the corner right in the draft. You got to get some air on that front wing, and you can see he goes high or low, and that's what's going to save his tires. So he's just counting it down, waiting to make his move. He's got a good run on him right here. He's gonna try to take a move in the turn 2.
Might want to take this opportunity. Cannot make it stick, and thought maybe pin Blocker up on the high side behind Graff.
No, he really had to back out of it. Unfortunately, that's going to lose his momentum, but he did take a shot. It's going to bring Jason Galvin a little bit back into the picture.
That says a lot right there, that maybe making the pass is not going to be so easy, especially on older tires. Richie, am I right in thinking this, that passing is easy, even though your competition is on fresh rubber and you're on fresh rubber, passing a little easier under that than if you're both on old tires?
Oh, absolutely. If you're both on fresh tires, you can just go to the bottom and just stay on it. But you can see as he went to the bottom, he had a lift. And I'm sure, Adam had to lift a little bit. So it's a little bit of a chess match at the end as we get down to where everybody's on old tires and just see who can position their car in the best way to make that move without taking each other out. So it's about just planning it out. Here he comes. He's going to make a move onto the inside, and he's tired of following him, so he's going to take it. I didn't think he was going to, but he's going to take it. Adam's going to let him go and maybe take a little time to save his tires.
So Guerin makes that pass. Blocker pulls right up behind him. Tip of the hat to Tyler Graff. Did a good job. You saw our director had the camera on him. He pulled down the inside lane and let these guys go by. All that horseplay up front between Guerin and Blocker, though, has brought in Jason Galvin. Racing out of the West Coast, hailing out of Bakersfield. Bakersfield not famous for many things. Buck Rogers and Merle Haggard, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Guerin, nicely done. He passed. He felt like he had the pace to get by him and pull away, and he has done that. Adam Blocker kind of hanging on a little bit, trying to be behind him as you see Dan Guerin trying to weave and break that draft a little bit. We're getting to that critical spot.
They work down the backstretch, working lap number 112. There is a nice battle for fourth. We're looking at it right now. Showen ahead of Yazik, ahead of Harrington. Bob Mike is in the mix as well. Micah's 19th to 7th, very impressive. Not quite as impressive as Galvin's 21st to 3rd, though.
Very impressed with Dan Guerin's pace right now. Able to pass Adam,
Mercy.
took a lap or two, and he's just able to pull away. He's got 0.8 of a second on Adam. So Adam's not really worried about first place at the moment. He's got to worry about second place with Jason Galvin right up behind him. But Tony Schauen, Ryan Yazik, Connor Herring, that's a huge train of cars. We're going to have to watch this as we get closer to the end. There's about 6 cars in this train.
Yeah, Micah's involved in it too. Let's go back to Damon Martinez. Micah's just put the car, Kinsella just put the car in the wall in 9th position. Sorry, director, for that one. He lost all of his momentum. That allowed Martinez to go underneath them. And the Moby Dickie's machine of Justin Weaver gets the pass made. Andrew Kinsella continues to fall.
Yeah, it's I would really, halfway through the race, if I could put a bet on that. Ooh, Andrew, Kinsella got down onto the apron there and lost some even more speed. But if the betting options were open halfway through the race, I would have bet on Andrew to win this. But he's struggling a little bit with a couple of mistakes here and there, and just kind of holding on.
Schauen in 5th position, trying to hang on, going underneath. That is Schauen now up into 4th. Yazik, Harrington, Micahs. Great battle for 4th. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that battle's be fun, and also Jason Galvin has gotten right up to the back of Adam Blocker. We don't go to it just yet. It's not as exciting as what you're watching on screen, but it's heating up there. Oh man. This battle right here with Yazik showing and
he keeps it off the wall. That was Bob Micahs. Oh.
Yeah, David Martinez dove it on the inside of Bob Micahs, and they touched. Nothing happened, but man, he couldn't get any closer than that.
Martinez took it in hotter than Virginia Mayo with a fever. Google her, you youngsters. Yazik in 5th. Connor Harrington in 6th. Martinez now in 7th. Mike is under attack from Weaver. And we look at Galvin. Galvin, he saves. He had the car down on the apron. He keeps it going. Continues to work on the back of Block. Meanwhile, check Dan Guerin's luggage for stolen towels. He has checked out. 1.5 seconds up on Adam Blocker with 4 to go.
Yeah, he definitely checked out. He felt like it was his time to go, and he went. He's gone. So the battle's going to be for Adam Blocker and Jason Galvin for 2nd and 3rd. But back there with Connor Harrington, Martinez, Bob Micahs, Weaver, Kinsellas, Rigney, it's really starting to heat up.
Aaron comes across the line working lap number 118. This one, 119 and 120, and we are done here. Galvin does not seem to have anything for 2nd position. This is the fun one to watch. Yeah, we were on the director. You were good. We can stay back there. There's nothing going on. Let's look at Yazik.
Connor
side
Harrington
by side with Connor Harrington.
Yeah, Connor Harrington going to the inside. Oh! Boy, Connor had to really back out of it for that, and fortunately he's going to leave himself open for Damon Martinez. Tried to make the move. It didn't work out. Going back to Jason Galvin, I think he just used up his tires to make that happen. But here's where the real battle is. Kinsella bumping the wall again.
Yeah, you can tell that these tires have gone for these guys. Dan Guerin working the backstretch, heading down to 3. He'll get the white flag this time by.
We have Connor Harrington and Damon Martinez side by side into the tunnel turn. And Connor drags the wall. Oh! And there we go. Finally happened. And that's going to be it. Yeah, if we watch on board with Connor, you're going to see him kind of drag the wall a little bit. going into the tunnel turn, and that brings Damon Martinez up into the position. And we talked about it before. Finally, that paper was no longer in between them.
Spinning around that time, there was a bullet in the chamber.
You kind of watch him drag the wall coming up to this, and it slows his momentum down, and it brings Martinez up with it, and they just touch, and that's it.
Take a quick look on this one from Weaver's point of view.
Right on the front shot cover there, and you're going to see there's that car going up and above, and whoo, right there, right by him.
We come back live and we put our cameras on Dandy Dan Guerin. Started in 12th position, worked his way to the front, and had the speed when he needed it.
Yeah,
Pace
I mean,
car out in front.
He really, he kind of just hung back there behind Adam, and when he was ready to make his move, he just made it and said later. And, man, he earned it. Nice job.
Coming around the final corner, assuming he has enough fuel to get to the finish line. Let's give Dandy Dan Guerin the Iracing Iflag Pocono 300 presented by Fat Dog Racing, that checkered flag. Blocker gets second. Jason Galvin, a very strong third position. How did those drivers fare that got into that incident? Martinez will finish in 18th spot. And everyone comes across the line with 21 drivers on the lead lap. The racing is over here in Pennsylvania, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll take a short break. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order. Talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Iracing Iflag Pocono 300 presented by Fat Dog Racing and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're like me and have trouble finding that perfect gift for the guy who has everything, plasma-tracks.com is the place to go. They not only produce original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, motorsports fabrications are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself, but I'm warning you, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a plasma track wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Use promo code LRS2019 to get 25% off your order. And I'm going to do better than 25%. I'm going to give you 100% of our finishing order. Dan Guerin gets the win, started in 12th. Adam Blocker, 6th to 2nd position. The hard charger of the night, Jason Galvin, starts in the blackjack spot, comes home in the final podium position. Tony Schowen and Brian Yosick go 4th and 5th. The back half of your top 10, that's the meat man, Bobby Mikas, in 6th. Nice run from him. Connor Harrington, hey! He brings it home. I think he's losing that reputation of not being able to get to the end. Good for him. Justin Weaver and Mike Rigney go 8th and 9th. Rigney, your pole sitter. Rounding out your top 10. Andrew Kinsella had a car, but he got it damaged, and he has to settle for a 10th place position. Okay, Richie?
Yeah, coming home at 11th is going to be Big Joe Hazard. 12th is going to be Michael Goodman. 13th, Chris Lanini. Stefan Larkamp started 9th down to 14th. Probably not happy with that, but he survived. Brian Carey, nice job, 24th to 15th. Scott Bolster, man, really nice job, 32nd to 16th position. Brian Grinley in the 17th spot. Damon Martinez got caught up in that last wreck there, started 4th, finished 18th. Joe Branch, 19th, and Brian Beard coming home 20th.
Boys and girls, we're only halfway done. Brian Limpkeman hits blackjack. Joe Flanagan gets the double duck spot. Paul Jenkins, Sean Cole, a quiet 24th position for him, but on the lead lap. Good job, Sean. John Hill in the quarter century mark. Last car on the lead lap was Robert Lewin. Cousin Dupree, Isaiah in 27th position. First car one lap down. 28th is Samuel Ryman. Scotty Johnson, previous winner in 29th. And 30th, George Anzaldo. Richie?
Ryan Corns comes home 31st. 2 laps down here. Tyler Graff in 32nd. Chris Stover, a little probably disappointed, ran up front for most of the race, come home 33rd. All these drivers from here did not finish. Dustin Wardlow, 34th, Bark Workman, 35th. Justin Kirby, 36th. Sage Karam, probably really disappointed with 37th spot. Early wreck there. Ron Hacker, 38th. James Prant, 39th. And Mark Cohn in 40th.
All right, I have the honor of talking to our race winner. That's going to be Dan Guerin. Dan, when you put the whip to the car, boy, she responded for you. You had something when it was time to go racing.
I didn't think I had anything, in all honesty. I told the boys earlier, I'm not feeling it. I wasn't feeling it all week, wasn't feeling it all day. I'm just not feeling it. And then Ron Hacker, he's like, oh, Dan, stop the nonsense. You got this. And Brandon's going to get pulled. Unfortunately, we all kind of screwed up our qualifying except for Ron, which I think he started 3rd. But yeah, I freaking redemption right here. Pocono owed me one. I took it from you. Yes.
A long time to get to the checkered flag. It's almost a different sport when you compare the racing at the beginning of a green flag run to the end of a green flag run. It's a lot harder to make it past to the end.
Oh, it was a very hard race anyways. The track Tims, the setup was pretty good. The track Tims are what was the killer part of it, because when the Tims would get 90 and above, the car became very hard to drive. But the temps never got down cold enough for it to be a really good competitive race. But it was good competitive racing, just tough to pass. But I found a little bit of a I don't want to call it a secret, but a little pick me up there in a couple of turns, and it just allowed me to stick with Adam the whole time. And he's such a good driver. A lot of respect for the guy. He's coming to the Iowa race. I can't wait to meet him there. And it's just he's so good. But I just snuck by him. I got around Blocker.
Good to see you back in victory lane again. Congratulations, Dan Guerin, the winner today.
Thanks,
Richie.
Soup.
Okay, Richie, who you got?
Yeah, we'll see. We should have Blocker here. Adam, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Adam, good qualifying, good race, good strategy. Unfortunately, just coming home a little bit short. It really was interesting to see Dan get he had to work to get by you, but then he was able to just kind of pull away a little bit at the end.
Yeah. To be honest, I think I would have been able to keep him back if a lap car hadn't decided to be a little bit unpredictable when he was, he told us that he was going to let us by on the straight, and then he started pulling over in the corner, and that just gave me arrow wash and gave Dan a run. But I definitely take second. I wasn't always up there for the whole race, so yeah, definitely take it.
It's funny you said that because our director mentioned that with a question mark if that lap car was taken off the leader, and obviously you said it was. I'm sure with the high track temps that didn't help.
Yeah, it was track temps was pretty high all race, so that meant that there was a lot of tire wear, a lot of lifting. Definitely in traffic, you had to lift for all three corners, which isn't always the case here. A lot of times two is flat, but yeah, I mean even in clean air, at the end we were lifting in 1 and 3, so a lot. So and downshifting to fourth in both corners. So yeah, it was definitely not a lot of grip. Especially on the end of the long runs, which is why you saw a lot of guys pitting early at the end of the stunts, especially given that you don't lose a lap here. So,
well, it was a good race, and I'm sure you're slightly disappointed that you didn't win. But overall, in the whole scheme of things, second place is going to be great for the championship. And give us some people to thank for this.
Yeah. Well, first I want to thank my team. Overall, we had a pretty strong run and worked together pretty well throughout the race. Not everybody got the best result, but at least, me, Tony, and Andrew all got top 10. So definitely pretty strong for the team championship. And I'm looking pretty good. 5 podiums in 5 races. So if I keep that up, I'm in.
Yep, absolutely. It's all in the long game there. Well, thanks, Adam, for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, see you guys.
There you had him, Adam Blocker. Now we'll bring down Jason Galvin. Jason, you started in 21st, took you a while to get up to the front, but once you got there, you're able to stay there.
Yeah, that was a good race. I felt really good after last night's practice race. I was one of the better cars and led a bunch of laps there towards the end, and I knew that I had a good race car, and I just missed in qualifying. So, but fun race. Proud of the Loud Pedal team. We've had a lot of bad luck this year. Brian and I and Big Joe have literally been in the top 5 to 10 of every single oval race that we've been able to run laps in, and have had no results all year to show for it. So to come home with a 3rd and a 5th, and I think Joe was 10th or 11th there, definitely felt really good. I didn't think I had much for Dan or Adam, and then that last run, I kind of ran with them, and I think it's because the run before I was on older tires, so I just felt like they were way better. Kind of wish I would have played things differently now on that last restart and maybe force the issue a little bit more and seen what happened, but those two are literally the 2 best in the league on oval tracks, so if you come home 3rd behind Dan Guerin and Adam Blocker, then you had a pretty good night.
Hey, well, you got yourself a podium. It's been a long time since I've seen you up front. Good going. We'll see you down the road.
All right, Soup, thank you. Just want to thank Thumbs Up Cancer Down. We ran that car tonight. That's only the second time that car has actually gotten to the end of a race. It's had some pretty bad luck, and to put it on the podium is very cool. I'd like to thank the league and everything they do to support Thumbs Up Cancer Down. It's a local charity out here, thumbsupcancerdown.com. Global Electronic Technology, all the sponsors that sponsor our team at Loud Pedal as well, and Brian Yazik for bringing me on board this year. It's been a lot of fun. So thanks to you guys. Great broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. It was a fun race.
Fun to watch us do so well. Jason Galvin, your final podium finisher today. One more, Richie. Who you got?
Yeah, we got Andrew Kinsella here. Andrew, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Richie.
Well, Andrew, I was pumping you up a lot with your strategy, and I even said if we had open betting in the middle of the race, I would have put all my money on you, but didn't quite work out at the end.
Yeah, stupid mistake on my part. Brushed the wall a couple laps after the green flag on the last run, and then brushed it again, and that one really did me in. Could barely keep it on the track. Found a couple of weird lines through 1 and 3 that was keeping me in the draft there, but it was all I could do to keep in the top 10. Really disappointed because I went from, I think it was 32nd to 5th or something along those lines. I had that misfortunate yellow early, got way back in the pack, past I don't know how many cars there. At least I must have gone through the pack at least twice there because I started mid-pack as well. So this car was flying. I know if I hadn't made that mistake, I could have won this race. No offense to Dan, but I think I had the fastest car on the track.
Yeah, you did actually. There was a section there where we were commenting you were a half a second faster than what he was running as you were making your way back up to 5th and before that last pit stop. And I'm sure you're bummed out, but at least you finished and you just kind of move on to the next one.
Yeah, I managed to get my head back on in time to save a top 10. So silver linings, got to find it, and racers got to have a short memory and regroup for the next one, right?
Absolutely. It could always be worse. Well, thanks for joining us here, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, thanks, Richie.
There you go. Andrew Kinsella, fastest car out there, but it didn't win. Welcome to Sim and Real World Racing. First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. We thank them for the support they give to this series.
The team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire sim experience ecosystem, including the GS5 seat, stage series motion systems, and Sim 5 software, visit simexperience.com. And please use the promo code SimXLion to get 5% off Sim 5 software.
Butt Kicker products. They add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. To see all the family of products at the Butt Kicker, go to thebuttkicker.com. Use promo code LION25 to get 25% off your order.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com. Click on 2018 sponsors, 19 sponsors. Read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo.
Companies, equipment, software, our music person, you see them on screen right there. See the screen to how to contact all of them.
The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 4 weeks. Wednesday, May 22nd, dual races from Detroit. Boy, that's going to be exciting. GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. The next broadcast on IESN is GSRC's coverage of the Precision Racing League's Radical Series, Round 6 from Spa. Coverage begins Thursday, April 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern.
You want to know about upcoming broadcasts? They're sliding across your screen right now. Mark them down so you don't miss anything. Here's how you get a hold of us. Find out more about us, GSRC, GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel. Let's do this right. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And while you're here, well, not here, but head on over to our YouTube page and become a member by simply hitting that big red button. So close to being done. Finally, on behalf of everyone on the team, that would be Richie, Amjad, and Dougie. And don't forget the Professor and Marianne. I'd like to thank all of you for watching as we watched Dan Guerin pick up the win here in the Iracing Iflag Pocono 300 presented by Fat Dog Racing. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.